If you were in the market for a mobile chicken tractor and wanted to purchase one rather than build one yourself, and you wanted to choose between steel and aluminum, which one would it be? That's exactly the question that I asked myself about a year ago when we finally decided to move up here to our new property, beautiful 45 acres in northwest Georgia, and we decided to go all in on mobile infrastructure. We had mobile chicken tractors in the past on our previous property that replaced stationary coops that we had in the beginning, and we quickly realized those stationary coops don't work the way at all for how we wanted to raise poultry. And switching to mobile chicken tractors, DIY ones at the time, really opened our eyes and make the decision to go all in on mobile. And so when we moved up here, we had a ton of things to do, and I did not see myself building several mobile chicken tractors myself. So we ended up purchasing several ones from Happy Farmer. It's a company up in, I think, in Pennsylvania, and I talked to the owner, good customer support, really like them, and they were all reasonably priced. And so we ended up purchasing first this steel coop. And by the way, if you think like, well, why is the image so crooked? It is not. We are on uneven terrain. So we are on a slope here. That's one of the factors that I'm going to talk about in this video, comparing steel with aluminum, because there are pros and cons to either one, and ultimately I think your environment, the way you intend to raise your poultry, etc., influence which one might be the better one. And the one here in the background, that's the first one we purchased. It's a 10 by 12, I want to say. Happy Farmer called it Porter Coop. It's an A-frame and it is built like a tank. We have a dedicated review on specifically this model, so you can check that out. I'm going to link it down below if you want to find out even more about this. But my initial thought process was, well, we want to have something that's built like a tank. It's solid, that no predator, even larger ones, potentially like mountain lions, could get into, that we can move obviously by hand, not needing a tractor or a side-by-side, and that I can walk into, because I figured, having to bend over or crawling in gets old really quick. And so being able to walk in and being able to stand upright, at least in the center, on the sides not so much, but in the center at least, is a plus. And then there's all the accessories like nesting boxes that you can access from the outside. The hens obviously would access them from the inside, etc., etc. So we really thought that this would be the one that would work for all of our different flocks. And right now we have about 70 or so birds that we are raising, including our old egg layers, the new egg layers that are going to replace those guys, ducks, guineas, turkeys, meat birds, and a separate flock of project egg layers that our daughter raises for the county project. So different flocks, and so we needed several coops, and this one is the first one we purchased, and then we ended up purchasing several different aluminum ones, broiler coops, layer coops, etc. You turkeys are incredibly loud. Our turkey hen, as soon as I talk, she talks. Don't like the back talk. Anyway, so we have now three different aluminum coops and the steel coop. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through which one we like better and which ones we might repurpose in the future. But before we get into that, I'd like to hear from you. Maybe go to the comments real quick and let me know, do you already have a mobile chicken tractor? Is it DIY? Is it steel? Is it aluminum? Which one do you like best? Do you think the decision you made initially to purchase one was the right one? If you haven't purchased one yet, which one do you think you're leaning towards? Again, this one is the one that I leant strongly towards. That's one that we bought this guy first. And some of the advantages of this guy is that it's, and again, built like a tank. We didn't know it at the time, but we have very strong winds up here, up to 80 miles an hour. And we basically purchased a 45-acre hayfield. So all open, we have 8 trees in total on the property, so no trees. And our house and any structure really standing in the open field is the windbreak. And we didn't realize that, but once the winds came in, we're like, well, I'm glad we purchased this heavy coop. It weighs what, maybe 400 or so pounds. It has wheels on the side, obviously, so you can lift it and move it, but it does not budge. It does not move even with strong winds. And that was really an advantage. Again, the being able to walk in, being able to sleep, knowing that nothing is gonna get in there. And obviously, if there are gaps like right now, something smaller could get in there, but at least nothing major can get into the coop if it's on even ground. We really like this. Now, the main downside, and we only found that out over time as we used the coop on our uneven terrain with ditches and old roots, etc., that this guy is incredibly heavy. And so I very quickly installed separate wheels on the back to assist the wheels that came with the coop that are installed on the side, made to make it easier to move. It's those chick lifts that we used on the previous DIY tractors. And even with those, it's incredibly challenging to move this guy. And mind you, I can deadlift over 500 pounds, so I'm relatively strong, but even I struggle sometimes when I have to not move straight, but maybe turn around. I really have to lift it up, scoot over, set it down, and keep doing this to move around a corner or to make a turn, which is, especially if you have water buckets hanging on it or maybe feeders hanging on it, makes it even more challenging. And the biggest gripe really I have with this guy is that when you go into corners, the tires, those rubber run flat, I guess, or they don't run flat, they can't get flat because they have no air inside. Those tend to peel off the wheel, and then you have to get them back on. And that usually for me means getting the dolly, propping it up, and then, wrestling that rubber tire back on the wheel. That's really a major pain in the butt. And here is the thing, if you have even terrain without significant ditches, if your pasture is mowed ahead of the chicken tractor, it can be moved relatively easily. I mean, maybe a child would not be able to move it, maybe most females would probably not be able to move it, depending on how strong they are. But otherwise, yes, you can lift it up, you can pick it up, and you can move it. There is a handlebar in front that you just lift up, and that lifts the coop, and raises it up basically, so all the weight is on the tires, and then you can move it. But on uneven terrain like we have, where we have to make turns and get into ditches and stuff, it's just incredibly cumbersome, and that's one of the reasons why I only now move it every couple of days instead of every day. That's probably also not a terrible thing, because realistically, within one day, since they are free-ranging, they are out in the open, they're not manured so much that it has to be moved. I rather get a little bit more manure density, before moving it, so every 3-day mover, so it's not a bad thing. But beyond that, it is challenging to move, and I wish we had made a different decision and gotten an aluminum one. Speaking of aluminum ones, let's walk up to our aluminum coops. They're all the way up there, you can see them, several of them, and we talk about those. They are also not perfect, but they are better for what we are trying to do here on our terrain. So let's go up. All right, so here we have 3 different ones. That's our broiler coop, our duck coop, and our guinea/turkey coop, at least for now. Those assignments are somewhat fluid and temporary. In fact, the broiler coop doesn't have any broilers right now. It has our new layer flock, and you can tell already, or maybe you can tell, that there is a difference between this one, and this one over here, in the sense that the first 2 here are a little bit lower to the ground. So those are broiler coops. They have roosting bars in fact, but they don't need the extra vertical space. There are no nesting boxes. I mean, you could probably attach them to the ground if you wanted to, but the layer one over here, that has nesting boxes raised up a little bit. And so those are all a little bit lower. Now, one of the main advantages of the aluminum over steel coops is that they are incredibly lightweight. I mean, even this guy here, you can lift it up with one hand and move it around. So it also has wheels on the side, and in particular this one, this is a 10 by 16, I believe, or 9 by 16. It's a fairly long coop, and it has the wheels and the tires almost in the center. And with the water tank on the back, you can see this blue water tank here, which is super convenient. When you raise up the coop, the tank on the back balances it out nicely so that you can easily lift this guy up with one hand and then just move it around. Turn it around, go straight, incredibly easy. And with the chains on the side that determine how high the coop lifts, basically, you can adjust it so that if you have smaller birds, you can lift it a little bit lower. If you have larger birds, you can lift it up higher, so it's easier to move. Now, with smaller birds, we've noticed, because we used all of these 3 as extended brooders, so to say, so we moved our young ones, our chicks, out incredibly quickly into those outdoor brooders. And if they're really, really small, they might still get out, especially again on our uneven terrain, where we have to lift it up a little bit higher because of ditches and stumps and whatnot. So they sometimes escape, but they're easy to get back in, not a problem whatsoever. But speaking of this coop, the center wheelbase makes it super easy and balanced. So even though it's awkwardly long, you might think, it's still incredibly easy to move, relatively speaking. And the same goes really with the other ones. Those over there have the wheels more towards the end because they are not as long, but they are also very, very easy to move. They're also built, I don't want to say like a tank, but the quality of material, they are thick, high gauge aluminum wire, and they're just solid. There's nothing where you think, this looks a little flimsy, or I'm not sure if this is going to hold up, or if maybe, if it can a raccoon or even nothing is going to get in there. It's, I want to say, as predator proof as the steel one, but at a significantly lighter weight. And that is an advantage, of course, if you need to move those guys every single day like we do. It's also, or it can be, a disadvantage if you live in an area with high winds. like we are. Now, we haven't had a full winter storm season with those coops yet, so I cannot tell you for sure how well they're gonna hold up. But of course, there's always the opportunity to stake them down or to use cinder blocks and put them on the side to, add some more weight. I'm not too concerned about the lower ones that are low to the ground, but maybe, and not even, this guy over there, I want to say the form factor and the size, I don't think makes it very likely to lift off even in strong winds, and also depending on how you position it, right? I would not necessarily position this guy in a way so that the wind can blow in from the front because it's covered on the back as well, and so has more, surface area to attack. I would maybe move it to the side so the wind can blow through it predominantly, and I don't think you're going to have an issue. But again, we'll see, and we might have to stake them down or hold them down with, concrete buckets or cinder blocks or what have you. Now, some of the downsides besides the weight, the smaller ones, the lower ones to the ground, obviously you cannot just walk into. That means you have to go down, you have to squat, and then, squat in or crawl in on all fours or whatever if you have to maintain the water or refill the feed they actually come with. We got those feeders, I believe. I don't think they came with them standard, but there are feeders, stainless steel feeders that you can attach on the outside or on the inside. We attach them to the outside so that the open feed lip is on the inside so the birds can eat, but you can refill them from the outside. I thought that was incredibly convenient until we realized that whenever there was rain dripping down, that aluminum is not 100% tight. There are no rubber seals or anything, so it would rain into the feed, and that didn't end up, work out. So we attach them now to the inside, which means if you want to refill those feeders, you have to crawl in. If you use a hanging feeder, same thing, you have to crawl in. So it's a little bit less convenient, but I think just the fact that they are so lightweight and easy to move outweighs the cons on our property. Now, a second minor disadvantage is the handlebar that's mounted or welded to the door where you pick them up when you want to move them is so close to the door that your whole body has to be close to the door, which means your feet and your shins are also close to the lower frame of that coop. So you cannot take big steps because that's gonna make that coop bump into your feet or your shins, and that hurts. So you have to move them slowly, I guess. Small steps, just walk them back, or you push them, obviously, depending on what direction you want to go. That's also an option, but pulling them, you have to be careful. That's a little bit of a downside compared to the steel one where the front handle comes out fairly far, so you can actually make big steps and pull them. Also because you would not be able to push this guy, I would assume, at least not on our terrain. So, pros and cons to both of them, but so far we really like the aluminum ones. The broiler coop here is going to house our broilers very shortly. They are still in our DIY Saskovich style chicken tractor we built on our old property already and brought over. So they're in there right now, 30 of them. We're going to move them over here very soon. We're going to move those layers into the steel coop to join the old flock until we dispatch hens that are no longer laying. The ducks are going to stay in there. They seem to be really happy about this. The only downside is, I installed an automatic chicken door here for the ducks to get out in the morning and then go back in at night. They would not use the door. They don't care about that door. They won't go through. That door can be open for 2 hours already in the morning. They will not come through. So I'm going to move it and add it probably to our guineas and turkeys, even though I want to say neither the guineas nor the turkeys are very keen on using a coop at all. With the guineas, I kind of figured that we would just, let them be out there, find a branch or what have you. But also the turkeys, since were raised together, they are sticking together. Wherever the turkeys go, the guineas go, and vice versa. And so we'll see how that's going to work out. But for now, those are in there. As I said, all of those coops are from Happy Farmer. They have different coops, beyond the ones that we have right now. We really like them. The quality is great. Shipping is usually free within, continental United States. Customer support is great. I could talk to the owner even, and ask questions and stuff. So all of that is really cool. I also like that they now come with us blue water tanks. They're better than black in the sense of keeping the water a little bit cooler, and much better than white to prevent algae growth. And they are huge. So I only have to refill this guy, I don't know, maybe once a week or so for our 30 or whatever birds we have in there. So very convenient. All of them come with it. We just removed it from the duck coop because the ducks are not they have a separate feeder that I can easily wash out because they're messy. But other than that, they all work really, really, really well. We'll see if I'm gonna change my mind come winter and storms are gonna be terrible again. Maybe I'm gonna say, I think we need to go all in on the steel coops, possibly. If so, we have to find a way to, maybe put them into areas where there are less ditches and the ground is a little bit more even. We have those areas. They are just not as close to the house as, where we are right now. But I have a feeling what we're gonna do with the steel coop is we're gonna convert it into an outdoor brooder. We brewed it for the first time using the Suscovich tractor, which was incredibly convenient, it turned out, because you can walk into the, you basically have a walk-in brooder and it's large enough. You could potentially even move it if it gets too soiled or whatever, and you don't want to keep adding, fresh litter. You just move it a length and you're good to go again. So I think what we're gonna do is next year, we're gonna use the steel coop as a walk-in brooder, maybe add some side panel on the plastic panels on the side to prevent the wind from getting in. But other than that, it's gonna be huge, walk in, plenty of space for a lot of birds to, for chicks to raise. And so that's what we're gonna do. And then we might get a larger aluminum layer coop for all of our egg layers that we can then run behind our cows and out in the pasture so they can, distribute the cow patties and eat the fly larvae and all of those good things. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there is a better or worse, generally speaking. They're all incredibly well built. I think they're also fairly priced. I have a discount code down in the description if you want to check that out. They're all really, really, really good coops. And at the end of the day, yes, you can build a coop yourself. We did it a few times with Justin Rhodes Chickshaw and the Suscovich one. But in our particular case, I decided to trade time for money, because time is the one thing I cannot make more of. And so we decided buying several of those coops, and that was a good decision for us. It opened up time for me to do something else. Again, nothing wrong with either one. For our particular environment, I feel like the aluminum ones are the better choice because they're easier to move over uneven terrain. I think that's the biggest factor. Beyond that, if we had the same property that we had on a previous, which was basically a lawn converted into pasture, it was flat, there were no holes, no ditches, nothing, that steel coop would have been perfect and incredibly easy to move. But here, not so much. And so I think aluminum is the one that we're gonna move forward with. So far, I've really liked them. Let me know what you think, based on what you've heard now, based on what you researched in the past, maybe based on your own experience. Which one works better for you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, and excuse me that I look like all sweaty and dirty and stuff. I just did chores before recording this video, and it's muggy, as it always is in Georgia. But that's it. See you next time.